And as if the flag flying over our capital was the intersection of the two worlds, it remains perfectly still, not a breeze to move it. The spirit of D.C. The end then truly begins exactly 561 feet up, where a view from the peak of the Washington Monument can see the Jefferson Memorial, the Hall of Congress, as well as the White House, supposedly guardians of America's soul. And then another view 561 feet down of the earth. But which view is more important, and could they ever coexist? The earth is a precious sight that could last forever if it was treated in a kind-hearted manner. But it will fight back against anyone that takes it for granted. Kind-hearted, though, is not how our politicians treat our earth today. Use, use, use until it's all gone. Ignorance is the harshest weapon used against the environment and man's continued existence on this planet that America's citizens can deploy in attacking our future, and the underlying pretense that it's someone else's fault, not theirs. A thunderstorm starts moving in across the sky, while September and the first part of October was cooler than the preceding summer temperature just experienced. Gauges did not forecast the change in weather. And when the first snowflake fell, every news channel dove into their archives for the first instances of early snow. Despondent weathermen sat off camera at their desks trying to ignore the obvious, the shame of their performance, because the clear moonlit night forecast is not the same as heralding thunderstorms, hail, and snow. They could not even take solace from the Doppler radar, because it shows different forecasts only in the minds of the production staff. And for this reason, none of the staff could even describe a viewing that coordinated with the other members. So for all intents and purposes, the Doppler radar was useless, and eventually someone simply turned the switch off and opened a window to look out and see the weather as is actually taking place. Non-professional weekend skiers were rapturous when the snows appeared, and they didn't even need to go to the resorts in D.C. or those slopes in other states just outside the state's limits, because every hill just became a ski slope. But there were still those skiers that wanted to frolic alongside the professional skiers, so just any ski slope wouldn't be considered. Unfortunately, when they reached the slopes of their choosing, the snow simply liquefied under their boards, and water skiing on a mountain is nothing compared to water skiing on a lake. The water, though, appeared only as minute swirls in many small areas, and though it was fluid, it maintained a standard level of 2 to 3 inches going up and down the length of the slopes, as if the water was magnetized to the earth below, defying gravity. At closer observation, though, you could see the water simply conceal the snow lying below it. And although the weather is freezing cold outside, the water on the slopes is warm to the touch. Take your time going home, because the snow that is missing from the surface and being coveted on the mountain has piled up nicely on the roads, where even snow chains couldn't travel. The blinding snow, though, eases up, which allows man to make many more choices on this precious earth. But how high could the snow have piled up if allowed to continue? would it have reached 40 days' worth? This earth is not here just for your folly, and do not believe a tsunami is good surfing weather either, because your enjoyment of disasters does not mean it's good for everyone. But a look is not the same thing as a deed, and now the flag flying over our nation's capital is missing. And to make matters worse, vandals have succeeded in turning every other flag in Washington, D.C. upside down, as if the country was in a state of distress. The sergeant at arms is mystified because the culprits were also able to alter the flags flying over the House of Representatives as well as in the U.S. Senate without anyone taking notice. So he was the latest member of a government agency to be embarrassed because the flags in both galleries were treated as if they were being flown over an abandoned nation. Subsequently, all the flags in Washington have been taken down by military personnel on hand, as well as law enforcement authorities reacting quickly to the totally bizarre situation. So link arms and pray, because the earth is not just a good time. And another view of the White House sets the stage for the future of earth and man. But the Washington Monument stands over 555 feet high, as measured when it was first constructed in 1884.